non-college educated white males have voted Republican. They voted against their own economic interest because of guns, because of gays, and because of God, the three Gs.
House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi blaming God, guns, and gays for Hillary Clinton's struggle with white male voters. But is that really the issue? For more on this and other factors surrounding the Democratic convention, let's go back live to Convention Hall in Philadelphia with Newsmax chief political columnist and White House correspondent John Gizzi. So, John, there was Nancy Pelosi on PBS, and I don't know, I guess I didn't know whether to laugh or feel insulted when she talks about the three Gs, God, guns, and gays. That's not exactly going to win voters to Hillary Clinton's banner, is it?
No, it isn't, and it's quite interesting. 2 decades ago, actually a quarter century ago, Bill Clinton won the Democratic nomination for president and the presidency itself running as, and I quote, a different kind of Democrat. He was moving to the center. And when his spokesman, George Stephanopoulos, was asked, is Governor Clinton a liberal? He replied, in no way. Today, his wife sought nomination for the presidency, increasingly forced to the port by Bernie Sanders, and she describes herself as a progressive who wants to get results. So overall, it's not those three particular issues that Minority Leader Pelosi says are a problem for Hillary Clinton. It's the fact that she's moved from being a centrist to being a Bernie Sanders light, left of center Democrat that's going to cause her problems with the electorate in general.
Tell you what, John, let's go to the phones at 1-877-NEWSMAX, 1-877-639-7629. And first up this hour from Sandy Run, South Carolina, in this portion of our program at least, it's Shannon. Shannon, welcome to Newsmax Prime.
Thank you. I listen and watch y'all all the time. You're my favorite news channel.
Bless you, and tell your friends and neighbors too, Shannon, okay?
I do, on Facebook all the time. I post Newsmax, Newsmax, Newsmax.
You're great to do that. What's on your mind tonight, Shannon?
Well, first off, I want to go back to Hillary's comment about it taking a village. And with a village, well, they're missing their idiot, which is her. And her other comment about it taking a village, and then, Nancy Pelosi, of course, saying that the Republicans, are the reason, for, I guess, God, guns, and whatever else, the three Gs. Well, Hillary is the one that said being a part of a gang is like being a part of a family. And what do most gangs possess? Guns. And they get them illegally. So Hillary is promoting the type of village that she sees as being a gang, and that's why she supports what she supports, which is terrorism, and why she refuses to say radical Islamic terrorism.
I got to tell you, Shannon, you've made several good points, and I thank you for the call. John, as Shannon was going through her litany of complaints about Hillary Clinton, and obviously Sandy Run, South Carolina, is not not part of a major metropolitan area, an important rural community, but I just have to ask you this. Have the Democrats and Hillary Clinton basically written off all of rural America?
Pretty much so. And don't take my word for it, JD and Shannon. A South Carolinian, in effect, confirmed that, and a very prominent South Carolinian within the Democratic Party, Don Fowler, former state Democratic chairman, Bill Clinton's Democratic national chairman, personal friend of both Bill and Hillary Clinton's, and when asked point blank if his state might possibly be in the mix for Hillary Clinton, he said no, it isn't. He said the minority population was growing, and maybe in a few years, Democrats would be competitive in the Palmetto State, but not now. That's a very clear sign that they are not relying on rural voters, which were the backbone of South Carolina for so long and backbone of the Democratic Party well into the 1950s and 60s, and now they're looking elsewhere for votes.
John, you know, you mentioned Don Fowler, and I knew Don during my years on television in Greenville and later saw him when he was chairman of the DNC and I was serving in Congress. We may have had our political differences, but I always found Chairman Fowler to be a straight shooter, and he was remarkably candid with his remarks and his assessment for the Clinton-Kaine ticket down in the Palmetto State. Speaking of South Carolina, another call coming in from Hilton Head Island. Brian is on the phone. Hi, Brian.
Hey, how you doing tonight?
Doing great, thanks.
As far as Hillary, that's just her inroads to, the villages. That's her inroads to socialism. And Pelosi, the reasons that she's given is her own reasons for you not to vote Republican. But really the reason I called in was for the Never Trumpers, and even for the Bernie Sanders, that don't want Hillary Clinton. An argument for Trump is that Hillary will never. We've had 8 years of the mainstream media. Obama's not been held accountable at all, and if Hillary Clinton's elected, then we'll have another 4 years of the media not holding her accountable. But we all know that if Trump's elected, he will be held accountable by the media.
And Brian, even before being elected, he has been held accountable for something he insists he wasn't saying. To that end, Donald Trump today pushed back against claims that he suggested Russia should employ espionage to find Hillary Clinton's deleted emails. Let's look and listen to what the Donald said earlier today.
And when I'm being sarcastic with something, first of all, they don't even know, of course I'm being sarcastic, but you have 33,000 emails deleted. And the real problem is what was said on those emails from the Democratic National Committee. You take a look at what was said on those emails, it's disgraceful.
And so there is Trump today saying what I was saying about his statement last night. I interpreted it as sarcasm, and yet the Washington establishment and the Democrat media said, oh, look, he's calling on a foreign government to intervene and engage in espionage. Is the counterattack of the left and really the Washington establishment over the top, John, or is it effective?
I would have to say at this convention, remember, I'm in the ultimate echo chamber when it comes to Donald Trump. Senate Democratic leader Harry Reid said for the record to me that he would seriously consider an investigation to see if Mr. Trump broke any laws. And that was widely echoed throughout the arena here tonight. Senator Stabenow of Michigan said the same thing. Now, that said, is it resonating with the general public? I'm not sure. Remember, I've been locked up for a week here in Philadelphia, and I haven't been out that much. But I will say I interpreted it as sarcasm, because when someone would say, hey, Russia, or if you see Putin, tell him something, that's a gag pretty much. And remember one thing, he wasn't encouraging them to hack into everything. All of the emails that have been released have already been hacked into and are now being released by WikiLeaks. So what is the crime, pray tell? All these people here who want him investigated have yet to say what law he broke. But we'll hear a lot about it, I'm sure.
And we're going to hear from another caller now. Let's go out west to Las Olivas, California for Ray. Ray, welcome to Newsmax Prime. You got about a minute to make your case or ask your question.
Sure. My one big question is the Obama administration, the Democrats said they created 700,000 new jobs, but they were all low-paying service jobs and mainly part-time. And then 8 years ago when Hillary was running against Obama, she says, who are you going to call in a crisis at 3 o'clock in the morning? Well, when the crisis came to Benghazi, she was nowhere to be found.
Ray, two very valid points, and let me take your first point. I'll take them in the order you offered them. in terms of unemployment. It seems the Bureau of Labor Statistics has suddenly been populated now by the same folks who count votes in Cook County, Illinois. A kind of peculiar formula they use to claim that unemployment figures are going down. But when you look at the non-participation rates in terms of our labor, as we discovered last night, the study from the Center on Immigration Studies, that brand new report showing that 48.5 million native-born Americans eligible for work are not in the workforce. John Gizzi, we appreciate the fact that you're very much on the job tonight in Philadelphia. We are coming back with more here on Newsmax Prime, so stay tuned.